Hey lovelies, it's Ebony and I'm back with another video for you. I'm going to jump in with the makeup, and as you can see, I've got my foundation done and my brows, so now it is time to do the eyeshadow. And before applying the eyeshadow, I'll be using the P. Louise eyeshadow base in Rumor 4. As you can see, a very little bit of this product goes a long way, so it doesn't take much to get it to cover my lid. And once I do that, I just take a dense makeup brush and just buff it out all over my lid. I want to make sure that I take the time to get a nice even layer over my eyelid, because if I don't, then I could see patches in the eyeshadow, it could start creasing, and yeah, you just want to make sure you have everything nice and even. The thing I like most about these eyeshadow bases is it really helps the eyeshadow to pop. The lighter the base, the more likely you are to see the eyeshadow's true color. I'm a little bit afraid to go any lighter than this, so I think this is a good color, you know, good shade. Maybe I'll try going a shade above, but who knows when that'll be, because as you can see, I use such a small amount of this product. I'll probably have it for the rest of the year. And now I'm going to take this Fenty Beauty Pro Filter setting powder to just set the eyeshadow base. One time I didn't do this and my eyeshadow was so patchy, it was just ugh. Next, I'm going to take the Huda Beauty Nude Rich palette, and I'm going to take that little color up in the top left corner. It looks more neutral on camera. It's actually more of a pink color, as you can see on my lid. So I immediately remembered I don't like that. So I grabbed the Shayna B Miami palette and chose Wynwood. I wanted more of a neutral tone on my lids, but then I decided, you know what, the pink isn't so bad. So I went back and forth between the Wynwood color from the Miami palette and the more pink color from the Huda Beauty palette. Every time I do this look, I have to keep reminding myself that I know it looks crazy now, but it's gonna look good at the end. It's something about these neutral light colors that when you apply them to our melanated skin, it can kind of look ashy, but I think once it oxygenates, I guess that's how you say it, the true color starts to come through. And once I was finished with my lids, I grabbed that same Huda Beauty palette and used that brown color in my crease just to warm up the ashiness of my lid color. This really helps to bring everything together, helps with the transition, and I even applied a little near the like the inner corner near my nose area, because I wanted it to all make sense. I didn't want there to be a sharp difference between where my nose began and where the eyeshadow began. I needed to make it all blend together. Now, whenever I do this look, I have to remember that when I do my transition colors, I always lose a little bit of that lid color. So I have to go back in with that neutral / pink color from the Huda Beauty palette, make it pop more and more defined. Now I'm going to take my favorite palette for the one color, that brown color from the Nomad Berlin Underground palette, and I lied earlier. This is the color that I use to blend in that inner corner / nose area so that it all makes sense. This color is closer to my skin tone in a way, so it just makes more sense to use this color. And now that I've added more color to my crease area, I'm gonna go back in again and add more color to my lid, because I can't get enough. Now it's time to line my eyes, and for that I'll be using Araceli liquid liner. I got this in my Ipsy box, and I've never heard of this brand before. I just know that I like the tip on this liner. Sometimes liners can be too loose. I feel like I have no control. Sometimes they're too stiff and a little too dry, even when they're brand new. But this one is a perfect combination of everything. I feel like I have really good control, and I can get the sharpness that I want from my wing liner. And yeah, it's not too wet like that Tarteist eyeliner that I used before. It's just way too wet, and I feel like it moves quicker than I can move. And speaking of Tarteist, that is the eyeliner I'm going to use to tightline my eyes with. This is a Tarte product, but Tarteist, I guess, is their spin on artist. Tarteist. Anyways, I'm going to use the charcoal end of the liner to tight line my eyes. I know this looks crazy, but it really helps to get in there and make that black line blacker, because sometimes the line along your lash line is just not enough. The tight line really just helps to fill in those gaps. Now for mascara, I'm going to use the Beauty For Real mascara. This stuff is super rich. It doesn't give you a lot of length, but it gives you volume. So if you really like those super black, really thick lashes, then this might be the mascara for you. Normally I would be concerned with length, but because I'm wearing pretty thick lashes, I'm not worried about that. Moving on to my lower lash line, I'm just taking that same brown color from the Huda Beauty palette that I was using earlier and just rubbing that all along my lash line. And then in the front part of my lash line, I'm using that same pink color that's on my lids just to tie it all together. This is one of my favorite steps in the makeup process because I just feel like it makes everything look more interesting. Now to set my face, I'm going to be using the Cover FX Powder Foundation in N90, and I'll just take a big fluffy brush and rub it all over my face, especially on my forehead and probably my chin, my nose, places where I seem to get oily first. I feel like this powder just melts perfectly into my skin, and the longer it sits, the more flawless my skin looks. Now it's time for my least favorite part of the entire makeup process, and that's adding lashes. This is probably my second or third time putting these lashes on. If you don't have the right glue, it can be hell, literally, putting on lashes. So I recommend House of Lash glue in white, not the black. For some strange reason, make sure you get white. And these lashes are by Lilly Lash. I really can't remember what the name of these lashes are, but if I had to take a guess, I'm like 60% sure they're the Dahlia lashes, D-A-L-I-A. Next, I'm going to take the Huda Beauty highlighter palette, the 3D highlighter palette, in the same colors that I always use. I use Barbados as my base and Bora Bora on top. Nothing new. These are my favorites. I don't know what it'll take for me to switch over. If you guys have any highlighter recommendations, please let me know in the comments. But as you can see, I'm one of those if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of girls when it comes to my makeup products. But I love highlighters, so I'm always open to trying something new. Oh, and make sure that you don't put highlighter over a pimple like I just did, because it draws all kinds of attention to it. Now for blush, I'll be using the Juvia's Place Saharan Blush Volume 2 palette in the same colors, Tau and B. I'll just mix those two together. It gives a not so pinky blush color. And for lips, I'll be using NYX Suede in the color Copenhagen. I know I'm doing a red lip for this look, but I've learned over time that it's best to use a color much darker than the red color that you're going to be putting on your lips, because it helps to give your lips depth. And for lipstick, I'll be using the Fenty Beauty liquid lipstick in Uncensored. And I don't know why I started with putting the lipstick on the inner parts of my lips, because I immediately got lipstick on my teeth several times. So yeah, it's probably best to start from the outside and work your way in. Now there are a few things I like about this liquid lipstick from Fenty Beauty. I love how easily it glides over your lips, all while applying so much product. You don't have to keep dipping it into the bottle, but this red is not red enough for me. It feels like it's orange. So to deepen it, I'll use MAC Retro Matte Liquid Lipstick on top of the Uncensored, because it just gives it that deep blood red that I'm looking for. Funny thing is, if I were to use the MAC liquid lipstick by itself, it wouldn't be this red. So I feel like I have to use both. And now that I'm finished with everything, I just take that same fluffy brush and just go over my face one last time to make sure everything is looking good. I'll set my face with the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray, and now it's time for hair. So at this point, it's been, I would say, a little over 3 weeks since I straightened my hair, and I must warn you, my hair is dirty and dry and itchy. I'm running to the shower when I finish this video. For my curls, I'll be using my new Bio Ionic curling iron, and of course, my favorite heat protectant, Thermal Wonder. Now to keep the heat as low as possible while still getting my hair to curl, I set the temperature to 300 degrees, but I quickly changed that to 350 because I didn't realize 300 is not gonna work when my hair has to wrap around the curling iron like 6 or 7 times. The heat just isn't gonna have enough time to travel to all the layers, and I didn't want to leave my ends in there for that amount of time. Now for the purposes of this video, I took the clips out of my hair probably like 10 or 15 minutes after I finished curling my entire head. But in the real world, I would probably sleep on these curls or at least wait several hours before taking them down, because 350 degrees is not a lot when it comes to curling your hair, especially when you have hair this long. The weight of your hair is going to pull the curl down much sooner than someone with shorter hair. But on the other hand, I really do like the long, loose curls, because the issue I have when my hair is straight is that I feel like it looks really flat. I like for my hair to have volume because I'm so used to it being in this naturally curly state that naturally gives me volume. So when it's straight, especially with the middle part, it just looks very like, I don't know, 60s hippie-ish to me. And so I like to add a little bit of movement in there. So the long, loose curls are just fine. Now that I'm editing this video and doing the voiceover, I'm watching myself put this headband on. What do I look like? A little hippie, especially with this robe on. But I'm a hippie with some movement in my hair. It's not so flat and straight. I thought this whole look came together super cute. You can always add you know, some hairspray in there if you like, to make the curls last longer. I'm not a fan of hairspray. I know I said this on my channel before and a lot of you guys gave some good recommendations, so I have to go back to that video and see, because I'm gonna find a good hairspray. But that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a big thumbs up, share this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Make sure you turn on those notifications. Remember to speak your greatness, and as always, thanks for watching.